People know that there are places to live around the world that are cheaper to live than their home country. But is Panama one of them? And if so, what kind of retirement will $1,070 per month buy you in Bocas del Toro, Panama? Is it good enough to pull up roots and move thousands of miles away? I would do it in a heartbeat, but you will have to decide for yourself. In this report, I share how some of you may be able to retire early on $1,070 per month in Bocas del Toro, Panama. First, I share my estimated cost of living for 2 people in Bocas Town. Then I will talk about some of our favorite meals and restaurants in Bocas and tell you how much the meals cost. But all of our favorite restaurants are listed on our Retire Cheap in Paradise report for Bocas Town. In fact, everything I'm talking about is in writing with links to Google links to everything. We'll also take you on the Red Frog Beach tour and show you the restaurants there. The Retire Cheap report for Bocas Town also has the best places to shop for groceries. And this video will end with my retirement livability factors, such as walkability, food, social considerations, things to do, weather, and real estate. We also cover the other popular places to retire in Panama over the next few weeks. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss those. Before discussing the cost of living for 2 people here, I want to answer the question, who would love to live in Bocas del Toro? Who would love to live here? If you would love to live on an island on the Caribbean side of Panama in a small town of about 15,000 that is almost completely focused on tourists, then Bocas Town might be right for you. The island has never been hit directly by a hurricane since Columbus mapped the island in 1502, but a tropical depression called Martha hit Panama in 1969, causing very little damage, mostly from high wind. The good news about the tourism in Bocas is that it supports a diversity of restaurant choices and fun things to do you would not ordinarily expect to see in a town this size, such as scuba diving, island tours, sailing, water skiing, surfing, nightlife, and a steady flow of expats and tourists coming and going for you to play with. It is probably not the best place to be single if you're looking for a long-term relationship, because there are not that many locals to choose from in town this size, and the tourists rarely stay long enough to really get to know. Also, because there's not an abundance of locals living in the area, there's not a great selection of restaurants offering local food at more reasonable, typical prices. So you'll need to cook at home more often if you're trying to maintain a budget. So if you want to live in a town focused mostly on tourists with many white sand beaches, close and accessible, and where sailboats, motorboats, fishing, and water sports will play a significant part of your entertainment, and an assortment of various restaurants to choose from that are geared for tourist buying power, then Bocas might be right for you. The cost of living in Bocas del Toro, Panama. Here's my estimated cost of living for 2 people in Bocas Town in Bocas del Toro, Panama. Rents. We stayed in a studio apartment in Bocas that would rent for about $400 per month, including utilities, Wi-Fi, and AC. They also have a 1-bedroom apartment available for $450 a month, including utilities. These rates are for a month or longer stays. We have provided the landlord's number in the Retire Cheap report, so you can get in touch with them directly to avoid any booking fees. So I will use $400 for rent for my cost of living estimate. Groceries. Based upon our time there and the money we spent on groceries, we estimate about $360 US per month to about $400 per month in groceries. Here are the 2 markets where we bought groceries, links provided. The first one was the cheapest in town, and the second one seemed to be the most expensive, but had a little bit more selection. There are a bunch of small ones all over town, and there's a bunch of little markets that sell fruits and vegetables you'll see as you walk around. Restaurants. If we went out to eat twice per week, once for date night and once for lunch somewhere, we would spend about $40 per week or $160 per month in restaurants for the two of us. We would keep it fun and interesting by doing a few picnics on the beach per week, but we would bring food from home, so it is included in our estimate cost of groceries for the picnics. Cell phone data. Mostly we use the internet at home, but we also need internet access from time to time when we are out of the house for Google Maps and other searches. The cost to recharge is about $20 per month. My Android phone will act like a hotspot, so we can both be on the internet at the same time when we're out of the house for $20 a month. Laundry and water. For laundry and water per month, Chang'an estimates about $30 for the drop-off and pickup laundry per month, and about 12 20-liter water bottles per month for two people can be refilled at the reverse osmosis water stations for $2.50 each, or about $30 per month. We walked everywhere in Bocas, so we did not need a taxi. So Uber and taxi, we rode local buses from time to time for $2 when we wanted to visit various beaches. We also rode water taxis for like $1 to $5 when we wanted to island hop. So for the two of us, I would estimate about $30 a month for transportation. Alcohol. Local beers called Panama and Balboa were about 65 cents for a small bottle and about $1.20 for a large bottle in the stores. In bars and restaurants, those prices are easily double. So we usually only bought beers in restaurants and bars during happy hour. Happy hour beers were around 2 for 1, which is about $1 per beer. Okay, if I sum all that up for the cost of living in Bocas Town, that would be $400 per rent. It would be about $400 for groceries, restaurants for $160 per month, cell phone $20, laundry for $30, water for $30, and transportation, mainly boats and buses, for another $30. So the recurring total would be about $1,070 per month to live in Bocas Town. And that's for everything I listed and nothing more. That doesn't include alcohol. Alcohol you would add around, we would add around $120, so it would come to $1,190 per month if you drink alcohol and drink the same rate we do. The above cost of living is for two people, but it's just an estimate on the low end. For a full understanding of what it would cost you to live here, visit Numbeo for Bocas Town and add anything you spend money on in your home country that's not mentioned in the table. Our costs of living are generally much lower than new travelers because we are great bargain hunters, but there are a few people that live much cheaper than we do. Never move anywhere until you have visited first personally to verify the living costs for your lifestyle and needs. I'm not guaranteeing these prices. These are just my notes and estimates from the time of my visit and this post. Your costs will likely be drastically different depending on your lifestyle and the time since this post. Most expats report spending more money per month than the low-end estimate we're reporting here. You will hear more typical living costs in the range of around $1,500 to $2,200 per month. But people spending that much also have higher incomes or pensions. They often report spending more on eating out and drinking more alcohol in local bars and restaurants. Many also have cars and more expensive apartments or homes. We also met a few people that had sailed their own boats down and were living offshore in one of the surrounding bays. They would come into the city to shop for food, eat in restaurants, and party at night. If you are going to try to retire cheap offshore, make sure to have emergency funds available should you have some unexpected emergencies. To learn more about that, read my report called The 2 Biggest Risks of Retiring Early for Cheap Overseas, link provided. Okay, Bocas best restaurants. Here are our favorite restaurants in Bocas Town. I'll just talk about a few of them, but we'll have a whole video coming out soon and I'll provide links on the report that show all the places that we've eaten and the ones we like. But basically, there's a restaurant, Tom. We love to eat the local food when we travel the world. This one was our favorite local food in Bocas Town. We went for lunch and had the lunch special at least 3 times when we were in town over 2 weeks. It has cheap, delicious local food and a beautiful view of the bay. It's $5 including your drink per person. Okay, Receta Michela. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there's a link here. You can find it. Both link to everything I'm talking about again. They served us a great curry dish right on the beach here with our toes in the sand. It was about $8 for the curry dish and another $7 for an amazing salad. Just grabbed the water taxi from Bocas Town to Leaf Eaters, and they then in turn walk to the right down the beach until you end up at the above link on the webpage for Receta. Okay, La Italiana Pizza. Wow, this is the best pizza in town. It's amazing. If you feel like pizza, skip the Doghouse Pizza and eat here instead. They also have a happy hour from time to time with 2-for-1 beers. So the beers are only $1 at happy hour, and the pizza was just really delicious. We went back there twice. Okay, then there's Leaf Eaters I mentioned a moment ago, and that's a great place. We enjoyed our lunch there. We had a veggie burger and a hippie bowl, $9 and $8 respectively. Just grab the $1 water taxi over to Leaf Eaters from Bocas Town. There's also 2 food carts listed you can visit. There's links. Chung enjoyed some chicken she got at the first one for $3, and she enjoyed an empanada looking thing for about $3 at the second food cart. And there's a few restaurants listed here that we really enjoyed. Each one has a YouTube link and what we enjoyed when we ate there. Okay, Bocas nightlife. I'm providing a map here. If you click the link below this video, you'll see all of the places we enjoyed the nightlife. We pretty much only went to places that had happy hours so we could keep our expenses down. It seemed that they rotate who has a happy hour each night, so you have to walk to see which ones has the happy hour. We also saw live music at 3 of them, Bocas Brewery, Toro Loco, and Ultimo. And all of these places are on the link. Just click the link and start walking and enjoying the nightlife. The nightlife felt safe to us, in case you're wondering that. We just walked everywhere. Okay, Bocas Town Black Magic Pirate Party Boat. I think it's on Wednesdays and Saturdays. You can go to a pirate party boat, and it is total chaos at the entry. You'd pull up on a boat to get in, and so you're standing on your boat waiting to crawl up the side of this pirate boat. So make sure you have a life jacket if you can't swim. That's a little bit crazy there at the entry. The music was good and the beers were $2 each, and so it's kind of a fun experience. We stayed on some of the upper decks. We didn't go down into the areas where everyone was dancing because it was a little crazy down there and it was still COVID time. We've had our vaccines, but we didn't want to mess with that. So we just stayed up high and watched from afar, and it was a fun experience. Okay, next up, Bocas Red Frog Beach Tour. Just go to any of the docks with water taxis and you'll pay $5 per person to get to Red Frog Beach. You can bring a cooler and your own snacks if you like to save money, or you can eat at any of the beachside restaurants over there. It costs $5 to enter the island path. There's a shortcut path there. It costs $5 per person. Once you cross the island, get to the other side, that's where the beach is. The boat captain will drop you at the path. Just walk about 600 meters to get to the Red Frog Beach. And along the way, the locals there will charge you $5 for maintaining the path. If you see locals nearby with a machete working, keeping things cleaned up, ask them to cut down a coconut for you and open it for you. Tip them $1 per coconut. Let them pick the coconut. They know what they're doing, and there's some delicious coconuts there. And there's a map here to show you where Red Frog Beach is, so you'll know where you're trying to hike to. Next up, Bocas del Toro Panama livability factors. Here are some of the factors I think about when I consider a place for retirement potential. After I discuss each factor, I will assign an overall desirability score to Bocas Town in Panama. Walkability, high. If I were to live in Bocas Town, I would be able to walk to almost all of my favorite restaurants and markets. There's even a central park there where you can sit on a park bench in the shade and people watch for hours if you like. If I lived in Bocas Town, I would walk almost everywhere, so I would not need a car. I would also consider getting bicycles for Chung and I to get around more quickly. I would get on a local bus from time to time to go to some of my favorite beaches like Starfish Beach and Playa Bluff. You catch those buses in the Simon Boulevard Central Park I was talking about a minute ago, links provided to the beaches and the park. I would also jump on small boats that functions as water taxis to go to other favorite places like Carneiro Island and Red Frog Beach. I would not need a car in Bocas Town. Okay, internet, I would say medium. We didn't do a speed test on the internet, but we were able to do Zoom calls, watch Netflix movies, and upload YouTube videos while we were in Bocas Town. But it was taking about 2 to 3 hours to upload YouTube videos of about 1 gigabyte. If certain internet speeds are required for your business, I suggest reading my process for finding perfect apartments, which fulfills all of your needs. Link provided. Okay, food, medium. With a town this size in the Caribbean, I would expect fewer international food choices, so we were a bit surprised by all the selection there. But the prices were a little higher than we would expect, with entrees starting around $7 to $8 in the tourist restaurants. So the selection was good, but prices were slightly higher, probably because tourists were mostly being served and they have higher purchasing power than the locals. But there were also some food carts and local restaurants in the range of like $3 to $6 per meal that you would see locals in more. The food in the grocery stores seemed high to us also. That made some sense since you're on an island here. The island pricing may not be avoidable, but you can switch to local brands instead of imported brands to save some money when you're shopping. Weather, I would say high. Bocas Town has beautiful weather year-round if you don't mind it on the warm side and you're not afraid of the rain. The nighttime lows vary from about 68 Fahrenheit, which is about 20.2 Celsius in February, to about 72 Fahrenheit or 22.2 Celsius in June for your nighttime lows. The daytime's highs vary from about 87 Fahrenheit, which is about 31 Celsius, to about 89.6 Fahrenheit, which is about 32 Celsius in June. So there's very little temperature difference based upon season. 10 or more inches of rain falls in every month of the year except for January, March, May, and October. The strongest rains are in June through September and December. So the best time to go is January, March, or October. But October is the low season, so you may save some money by going in October. Things to do, medium. Swimming, snorkeling, sailing, scuba, kayaking, surfing, cooking, partying, yoga, restaurants, gyms, water skiing, white sand beaches, cycling, fishing, etc. If you're a beach or ocean person, you'll not run out of things to do. But if you're also into cultural exploration, you may get bored here eventually. There is a decent amount of live music for such a small town. There's also a large techno dance music scene here. Okay, social considerations, medium. Since there are so many tourists coming and going, there's a fairly high number of locals that speak basic English here, but you'll need to pick up some Spanish if you expect to integrate with the locals in a meaningful way, though some locals speak perfect English. That will widen your choices of friends and things to do greatly if you pick up some Spanish. So if you're single, a town of this size may limit your dating life substantially, especially if you only speak English. Okay, expats, medium. There are about 6,000 members of the Expats in Panama Facebook page. link provided. It's not specifically geared to Bocas del Toro, but it's for the whole country. But I didn't see one focused on only Bocas del Toro on Facebook. This group has expats and locals, but it is in English. So there's a good chance there are expats that will see your messages. I often go to these kinds of resources to find answers to questions that only an expat would know where the answer to. But make sure to make friends with both locals and expats for a richer living experience. I explain why in my report, the top 10 mistakes international retirees make, link provided. Okay, real estate. I would say high. Just walking, the high desirability, that is. Just walking around Bocas Town and window shopping, I saw a dumpy one-bedroom house that needed renovation for about $100K, but I forgot to take a picture or get the phone number. So I just searched online and I found this duplex for sale on Querétaro. It's an island next door to Bocas, just a $1 taxi right away. They're asking $149,000 US. It's a duplex. It has 2 units up. 2 units, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and a 1-bedroom, 1 bath. Link below. But I never recommend buying real estate until you've lived somewhere at least 2 to 3 years. Read why retired expats should not buy real estate overseas to understand why I decided not to buy outside my home country. Okay, visa, high desirability. Citizens of many countries are given a 90-day visa-free tour stamp upon arrival in Panama. Citizens of the US and Canada are still getting 180 days. There's a link here for the source of that information. If you fall in love with Panama and decide to retire here, you can apply for a tourist visa. The retiree residence status requires that an applicant demonstrate an income or pension of only $1,000 US per month and an additional $250 US for each dependent. You can certainly travel to Panama on a tourist visa and later change your status once you get to Panama. We have provided a link to all of the other requirements, such as a healthcare certificate and a police report, link provided. Okay, safety, high. Panama is generally one of the safer countries to live or travel in Central and South America. But do read the US State Department's travel advisory for Panama and all other parts of the world to learn about exceptions and any known hotspots. Personally, we felt very safe in Panama, but I don't judge safety at the country level. I find it more useful to think of safety at the neighborhood or area level. Bocas Town felt safe to us overall, but do read my report on how to travel the world safely, including in your home country, link provided. I provided all of my tips and tricks and have kept me safe for 14 years in that report. Okay, Bocas Town desirability score, high. If you're a beach or ocean person that prefers to be near white sand beaches with turquoise water, with many restaurants and other things to do, then Bocas Town might be right for you. In fact, Bocas Town would be in the top 3 places both Chung and I would recommend settling in Panama. So stay tuned for our other favorite places in Panama. We next head further west in Panama to David to explore the Pacific side of Panama. Subscribe now and hit the notifications bell so you'll see when we post more videos about Panama and all the other great retire cheap places around the world. Thanks for reviewing our Retire Early for $10.70 a month in Bocas del Toro Panama report. Make sure to grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 14 Years. And please subscribe to vagabondbuddha.com, our YouTube channel, to watch us move around the world. 14 years in 67 countries so far. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for vagabondbuddha.com. Thank you for stopping by. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner? Hey, if you liked our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years.
While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.